ChaoscorpJWT here. I'm here to finally put my main up, which is taking me so long. It's mostly because I've been working on videos and okay, I'm lying. Actually, I've been really lazy about it. But I am here to tell you that my What Chaos was not my main. My main is actually Karakuri's for a while. Karakuri's actually a really good archetype. I find him to be really cool. And of course nowadays you can't run a deck without an archetype, so you might as well try. And the funny thing is that I told myself when I went to Walmart, if I get a Bure, I will make the deck. And oddly enough, I got an ultimate Bure. So I made the deck. And it actually runs pretty well if you make sure your opponent doesn't summon Chimeritic Fortress. I hate Chimeritic Fortress. I hate it about as much as I hate Red Eyes Darkness Metal. I'll explain my hatred for that later. So let's go ahead and get started. 2, 3 Karakuri Ninja Quicks. I wish this card was super because it's really good. You are able to attack a monster and destroy by battle. If it goes to your graveyard, you can special summon one level 4 lower Karakuri monster face up defense position. This is really good for swarming and synchroing, of course, so it's really good to use. Still wish it was super. And of course, like all of them, maybe I should explain right quick, is that every Karakuri monster that is a regular monster, regular effect monster, has the ability that if it's selected as attack target, switches to defense position, and if it is attack, it switches positions, and if it's change, and if it's a face up and it can attack if able. That means if it's a face up attack, it must attack any monster on the field during the battle phase. So then we go to the next one, Kamachi. Out of the new Extreme Victory set, I love this monster. I wish it was super. I wish it was, because Kamachi actually helps you. Same ability as the other ones, but you can normal summon another Karakuri monster once per turn, along with the normal summon. So you can normal summon again, and then normal summon another Karakuri monster. On first turn, you can hit a 7 to summon Scrap Archina if you like. I still wish it was, and it was a holo, and it's 1900 defense. So you can get over any monster that has a high attack that has 4 stars. Except for Gene Warp, because that's the only one that seems to work that way. They can't get over Cyber Dragon though. Alright, 2 Watchdogs. Before I used to run 1, but now I think 2 is really, really good. Because you can hit 8 so easy with quicks, and it's really cool. You can, if it's face-up attack and it can't be destroyed by battle and you take damage, but of course when you take damage, other Karakuri monsters gain 800 attack points. So yeah, this one switches positions, whatever position it's on, so it's really useful for anything. And it's 1800 defense, not as high as Kamachi, but it's really okay. Strategist. Strategist is actually a really good monster. When it's normal specialed, you can switch the position of a monster on the field. Now, that's actually good, and actually I only have 1 in there. Usually I run 3, but because of Kamachi, I run only 1. Sadly, I've had actually people tell me that. Actually, I've had people actually try to spit in my face for actually just having 1. But I told them my reasons, and then of course they said go with it, and of course my deck runs just fine. That's all the Karakuri stuff actually, and really I took out most of the Karakuri stuff because the Karakuri stuff in this is actually really, really slow. It makes the deck a little slower. This is an OTK deck. You have to like really pace yourself and run really quick through your deck, through your monsters, and synchro really fast. You can't take your time, like use anatomy and stuff, because you'll take forever and the combo won't go off really well, and you won't swarm your opponent at the right time. So yeah, it's one of those decks. So I have next other monsters that are not Karakuris, which are Gearframe, Fortress, and another one. Fortress is really a good beater to have on the field. He's actually really, really good to keep around on the field because your opponent has to waste their cards to get rid of it. And regardless, it has a backdraw effect, and the fact that it has the yellow ring of death, which I like to call it. You don't believe me? It's really a yellow ring of death? Go look it up. Go look at Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, and Chaos Emperor Dragon. And then come back and tell me that's not the yellow ring of death. Not as evil as them, but they're evil enough. Yeah, either way, you waste cards on it or attack it, you're gonna lose something out of it. And Gearframe makes a good defense for him, so can't get destroyed that easy. Put some effort into it. Alright, next, Black Salvo. Questionable to have him in here. Well, I run the Koichis in the deck, so it's good to have 2. I have 2 Koichis, of course, so I'm going to run 2. Usually they say run 1 and then 3 Koichis, but then your chances of drawing them in are actually really, really really low for salvo. So having two of the same even type makes it 50-50. And the monster I was talking about, the Koichi. Having two of that and two of the other actually makes it a 50-50 chance you'll draw both. So I like those odds actually. And because when it's attacked, it's cool, or I can flip it and I can draw a card. So I can actually make this really, really useful. Two Cyber Dragons, draw them on first turn, you can hit 8 pretty easy. Or you can leave them on the field and attack something if you like. But of course the main hit of this deck is actually Synchroing, so you want that. Ancient Gadgetron Dragon, this is a replacement for Force because I don't see why run Force when you can't even summon it, because you don't run Covington in this deck, and, you know, I don't have Machina Force really. And I'll explain why I have him in here with another card really. Gen X Recycled, I'll explain later about this card. It's actually a 1-star tuner, Gen X monster. And Unknown Synchron, Yusei's card. Now this card is actually, some people actually told me not to even try to use this. I think otherwise. I actually like the ability. Of course it's kind of like Glow Up, you can only use it once. And here's the reason of Gadgetron Dragon. Gear Town. Gear Town actually is really good. When you use your other field spell for Katakuris and destroy this thing, you can get your 3000 beater on the field with no problem. 1-for-1, standard only 1 because, well, TCG doesn't like you, that's why. Showdown Castle. Of course, this one, when Karakuri monster attacks, you switch the position of a monster on the one face-up monster your opponent controls. And when the field spell is destroyed, you can actually dig out a level 4 or higher Karakuri monster. So that Borea you lost, you'll just get it back. Desynchro. This card is so broke in this deck. It's actually pretty funny. The best part is that it works just like Defusion, so you can desynchro your opponent's monster. So it's really helpful, but with Katakuris it's even more helpful because you can synchro again and unsync and then sync again and get another monster on the field. I would suggest running more than one though. Solly, I thought about running more than one, but I don't have space, but I can make space. Leave comments and tell me whether I should run 2 or not. Then staples, Trunade, Book of Moon, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, and that's not a staple, but that's Cast Shed. I use it with Kamachi so I can normal summon if I don't have one. Traps, let's get this over with. 2 bribes, and before anybody asks, no, they're not for trade. God, how many people have asked me that question? 2 hollow bribes, and they're really useful. I want Cast Sheds instead of that, because I don't have to give my opponent the chance to draw something they need. If anybody has a playset of those, I'll trade for them. I need Cast Sheds. 2 bottomless. I actually ran a deck without bottomless at one point, and that was the biggest mistake of my life. Staples, the rest are staples, you know, Trap Stun, Divine Wrath. These are my own tech choices, the Divine Wraths, because they have saved me from JD, really. They have, so I'm really grateful to have them in there. Transil Tribute, Solemn, and of course Mirror Force. You know what, screw it. I'm gonna ask. If anybody has a hollow Mirror Force, just tell me and I'll trade for it. Alright, Synchro time. The main part of this entire deck. If you don't have a Synchro deck for this deck, then just give up, because there's no way you're gonna run this deck pretty well without them. 2, Katakuri Boreas. This is probably my most favorite monster because you can switch any position of a monster on the field. Any. That means it can be face down, you can switch it to a face-up attack position. And also, it's a 26 beater. So you can get over Stardust, which is really awesome. And then your beater and draw engine, of course, is Burrito. Not to be confused with Burrito. When any Katakuri monster switches positions, you're able to draw a card. That's really cool because you can draw out your deck. If you want to change it to a Katakuri deck that changes positions all the time, my god, you would draw out your entire deck. And then the rest are just regular synchros like 2 Stardust. I like to call him Malefic Blue Stardust Dragon. Yeah, that name's long. Yeah, 2 Stardust, 1 Black Rose, I only have 1. Gotham's, if you need to get over something more than 2800, which is kind of seldom. And the need for Gen X Recycled is Gen X Ally Axel. Now, this monster actually is really good because you can discard a card and you can special summon a level 4 Lord Machine type monster and it doubles its attack points. So you can discard and go quick, and it has 3,400 attack points. That's a beater. That is actually useful. That is actually really cool. And the last one is Landois. I'm testing this. Don't judge me. I like him. Anyways, I don't. He's actually really low attack points. I don't like him much. But like, I've actually used it once or twice, and it actually helped me out, destroy stuff. So it's actually useful. Alright. So that is my Karakuri deck. If anyone has any questions about this stuff, you know, just ask me. Like I said, I'm going to try to look for, if you guys have any like playset of Cash Sheds, or you have a Hollow Mirror Force, because I just want to now, out of nowhere. So just rate this deck and tell me what I can do to it, you know, just to change it, make it better. So, you know, with that, this is my main, and ChaoscorpJWT out. See you guys next time.